I'm David, and I work at the Centre for Brexit Studies, which is part of BCU. The slogan was fictitious. There's very few words to describe it other than it was wrong. It was a falsehood. There are two aspects to this. One is that the amount of money in question did not include the rebate. So the rebate is taken off before money even gets sent to the EU. The amount deliberately didn't mention the amount of money that is paid back from the EU to the UK. So it excluded all the UK's payments for things like agriculture, for things like regional funding. So it is the UK, the British government, which decides how much to fund the NHS. You know, how many billions of pounds do we want to spend on the NHS each year? EU membership, or the lack of EU membership, will have some impact on the total amount of money available that exists to spend. However, how the UK government chooses to spend it, and has chosen to spend it over the years, is an entirely domestic political matter. I think that's highly likely, especially in the short term. As you've already mentioned, we've already seen a dramatic reduction in the number of EU staff coming to work, particularly in nursing positions in the NHS. That's actually not exclusive to the EU. The number of EU migrants to the UK has fallen very, very dramatically since the Brexit vote. I believe, although I don't have the figures to hand on me right now, it's of the order of 100,000 fewer people arriving per year. It's a lot. Now, the extent to which that has an impact on staffing levels will, in the long term, depend a huge amount on, does the UK choose to try and recruit people from elsewhere? There are obviously huge numbers of well-qualified staff internationally. In the past, a number of nurses in particular have come from locations like the Philippines. Does the UK want to return to that model? At present, the UK actually has agreed not to deliberately do that because of a concern about brain drain in developing countries and taking away staff and resources from them. Another option is to say, even after Brexit, we'll continue with very loose migration requirements for those who meet certain criterion. There's also a question over how attractive is the UK as a place to move, certainly for Europeans. One of the aspects that has reduced EU migration has been the dramatic fall in sterling. So if you move to the UK from, let's say, Poland, for example, £1 in your pocket is suddenly worth 10% less on the 24th of June than it was on the 23rd, simply because of a change in the exchange rate. You know, that's related to Brexit for sure, but it's not intrinsically part of Brexit. So there's a whole host of factors, and improving Eurozone economy is another one. But yes, staffing levels staffing will be a challenge, I think, certainly in the immediate future. Long term, the UK can obviously train more nurses. Yeah, insofar as you have difficulty filling vacancies, I think that will put additional pressure on services. You know, if you don't have enough nurses in a hospital, it's quite difficult to run your hospital effectively. It is as simple as that. In the long term, it may well be that one of the methods used to try and recruit more nursing staff, and to a lesser extent doctors domestically, is to increase pay rates. Look at one of the reasons why the UK has been one of the most popular destinations for EU migrants. One is its flexible and effective labour market, but another of those is the fact that actually English is extremely widely spoken as a common language. It's much easier for someone to come to the UK when they've learnt English for 10 years plus at school than it is for a Brit who perhaps doesn't have the foreign language skills to be able to do that.